Let me tell you about something I have been watching for the past 6 months, something that has kept me up at night. I am not a young man anymore. I have spent 40 years looking at the sky. I have seen comets, I have seen asteroids, I have seen things that made headlines and things that disappeared into darkness, but what I am about to share with you is different. Very different. This story begins with an object we call 3I Atlas. The name is not important, what matters is where it came from. This object did not come from our solar system, it came from somewhere else, somewhere far away, between the stars. We call these objects interstellar visitors. They pass through our neighborhood. They do not stay. They just move through and leave. Now you might think this is normal, space is big, things move around. But here is what made 3I Atlas special. It moved in a very specific way. Scientists noticed something strange about its path. It was not random, it followed patterns, mathematical patterns, like someone had planned it. I want you to understand what orbital symmetry means. Think of it like a dance, two partners moving together, perfectly balanced. When something orbits in symmetry, both sides match. Left equals right, top equals bottom. Everything is even. Everything is predictable. You can calculate where it will be. You can predict its movement years ahead. 3I Atlas entered our solar system doing exactly this. Its orbit showed perfect symmetry, the numbers matched on all sides. Scientists checked the calculations multiple times. They used different telescopes, different methods, different teams. Everyone got the same result. Perfect symmetry. This is extremely rare. Natural objects do not usually move this way. Comets tumble, asteroids wobble, gravity pulls them in messy directions, but 3I Atlas was different. It moved like it knew where it was going, like it had a purpose. For 3 months, astronomers watched it. They measured everything, its speed, its direction, its rotation. All the data showed the same thing: symmetrical movement, balanced orbit, no deviation. This caught attention. Papers were written, conferences were held. Everyone wanted to understand how this was possible. The Gemini Observatory tracked it first. Then the Keck telescopes joined in. Even the Hubble Space Telescope pointed its lens at this visitor. They all confirmed it. This object was maintaining a symmetrical orbit through our solar system. The probability of this happening naturally was calculated. The number was very small. Very small indeed. But then something happened. Something nobody expected. On the morning of August 17th, things changed. The symmetry broke, not slowly, not gradually. It broke instantly. Like flipping a switch. One moment, the orbit was perfect. The next moment, it was not. I need to be very clear about this. Objects in space do not change suddenly. Physics does not work that way. When something moves through space, it follows rules. Newton's laws, gravity, momentum, these rules do not change. They are constant, they are predictable. So when 3I Atlas broke its symmetry, scientists had a problem. A big problem. The data came from NASA's Deep Space Network first. They track objects far from Earth. They noticed the deviation at 3:17 in the morning, universal time. The numbers showed an immediate change. Not a drift, not a wobble. A clean break from the symmetrical pattern it had been following. Within hours, other observatories confirmed it. The European Space Agency checked their satellites. Ground stations in Chile verified the readings. Stations in Hawaii saw the same thing. Different equipment, different locations, different methods. Same conclusion. The orbit had changed instantly. Now I want you to think about what this means. An interstellar object travels for thousands of years, maybe millions. It enters our solar system, it maintains a perfect symmetrical orbit for months. Then suddenly, without warning, it breaks that pattern. What could cause this? Scientists started looking for explanations. Maybe it hit something, maybe a micrometeorite struck it and changed its path. But the data showed no impact, no debris, no evidence of collision. The object was intact, undamaged. Maybe gas was escaping from it. Comets do this. When they heat up, ice turns to gas. The gas pushes out. This can change their orbit, but 3I Atlas was not showing comet activity. No tail, no gas cloud. Spectral analysis showed a solid surface, rocky, dense. Nothing was escaping. Maybe gravity from a planet pulled it, Jupiter is massive, its gravity affects everything nearby. But 3I Atlas was nowhere near Jupiter, it was far away. The gravitational calculations did not explain the change. The math did not work. One by one, natural explanations were eliminated. This is how science works. You test ideas, you check the data, you rule out what does not fit, and when you eliminate everything natural, you are left with something else, something harder to explain. The next part of this story involves angles. Stay with me, this is important. When 3I Atlas broke its symmetry, it did not move in a random direction. It shifted toward a very specific position, an exact angle. Scientists measured this carefully. They calculated the new trajectory. What they found was remarkable. The object had aligned itself with Earth, not approximately, not roughly, precisely. The angle matched to 4 decimal places. This level of precision does not happen by accident. Think about throwing a dart at a board from across a room. Now imagine hitting the exact center. Not close, the exact center. Every single time. The probability of this alignment happening naturally was calculated by 3 different teams. All 3 got similar numbers. Approximately 1 in 4 billion. These are lottery odds, except you would need to win multiple lotteries in the same week while being struck by lightning. But there is more. The timing was significant too. 3I Atlas broke symmetry at a very specific moment. Earth was in a particular position in its orbit. The Moon was in a specific phase. Several planets were aligned in a rare configuration. This configuration happens once every several thousand years. Researchers checked historical records. They looked back through astronomical data. The last time this planetary arrangement occurred was 4,000 years ago, before written history in most places, before the pyramids were finished, before many civilizations even existed. So we have an interstellar object. It maintains perfect symmetry. Then it breaks that symmetry at a moment when planets align in a pattern that occurs once every 4 millennia, and when it breaks, it points directly at Earth, with precision that should be impossible. I have spent months reviewing this data. I have checked the calculations myself. I have contacted colleagues. Everyone sees the same thing. The numbers do not lie. The measurements are solid. The observations are confirmed. But the implications are difficult to accept. Let me tell you what happened next. The scientific community became very interested indeed. NASA designated this as a priority study. Resources were allocated, telescope time was reserved. Teams were assembled, the European Space Agency did the same. So did other organizations around the world. But then something unusual occurred. Information started becoming restricted. Papers that were being written were delayed. Conferences were postponed. Data that was public became classified. Scientists who were talking openly stopped talking. Access to certain observations was limited. Now I have been in this field for 4 decades. I have seen discoveries made. I have seen debates happen. I have seen controversies arise. But I have never seen information restricted like this. Not for a comet, not for an asteroid. This was different. I made some calls. I spoke with colleagues at different institutions. 3 people I know had access to the full data set. They were analyzing it, writing about it. Then their clearances were changed. Their access was removed, all within a 48-hour period. This does not happen casually. This indicates something significant was found. The official explanation was standard protocol, security procedures, standard classifications. But this is not standard. Objects from space do not usually require security clearances. Asteroids are not classified. Comets are public knowledge. So why was 3I Atlas different? I want to share something else with you. After the symmetry broke, 3I Atlas did something even stranger. It began transmitting, not radio waves, not visible light, something else, a form of radiation that was hard to detect. It required specialized equipment to measure. Ground stations picked it up first. Then orbital satellites confirmed it. The signal was weak, but it was there, it was measurable, it was real, and it had a pattern. Not random noise, not natural radiation, a pattern, a sequence. The sequence repeated every 17 minutes. Exactly 17 minutes. Not approximately, not roughly, exactly. Natural phenomena do not keep such precise time. Pulsars rotate regularly, but not this regularly. The timing was too perfect, too exact. Scientists analyzed the pattern. They found something remarkable. The sequence contained prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. These numbers went up to very high values. All prime, all in order, nothing missing. Now think about what this means. Prime numbers are special. They are only divisible by 1 and themselves. They are mathematical. They are universal. Any intelligent civilization would know them. They are the same everywhere in the universe. If you wanted to show intelligence, you would use prime numbers. It is a universal language. The pattern also contains something else. Information about distances, about orbits, about planetary positions. The data was encoded in a way that required understanding of mathematics, of physics, of astronomy. It was not random, it was deliberate, it was intentional. When this analysis was completed, something changed. The tone of discussions shifted. Scientists became more careful with their words. Phrases like unusual natural phenomenon were used. Speculation was discouraged. Official statements became vague, very vague. But here is what the data shows. An object from interstellar space entered our solar system. It maintained impossible symmetry. It broke that symmetry at a precise moment. It aligned with Earth exactly. It began transmitting patterns. Those patterns contained prime numbers and astronomical information. Every part of this has been verified, every measurement confirmed. I want to be clear about something. I am not making claims. I am presenting data. I am sharing observations. I am reporting what has been measured and confirmed. The implications of this data are for you to consider. Let me tell you what is happening right now. As you watch this, as you listen to these words, 3i Atlas is still transmitting. The pattern continues. Every 17 minutes, scientists are still receiving it, still analyzing it. The object has now left our solar system. It is moving away, but the signal remains detectable. Institutions are still studying this, resources are still allocated, teams are still working, but publicly, very little is being said. Official statements are brief, details are sparse. This contrast is notable. The effort being invested versus the information being shared, they do not match. I spoke with someone recently, someone who has access to more data than I do. They told me 3 things. First, the pattern is more complex than publicly acknowledged. Second, parts of it remain undeciphered. Third, what has been deciphered is being kept quiet. When I asked why, they could not say, or would not say. Think about the possibilities here. Think about what this data suggests. An interstellar object that behaves with intelligence, that shows precision, that transmits information, that uses mathematics as a language. What are we looking at? Some scientists believe this is a natural phenomenon we do not understand yet. That there is a physical explanation we have not discovered. That with more study, we will find natural causes. This is possible. Science has surprised us before. Other scientists believe we are looking at something else. Something artificial, something designed, something sent here deliberately. They point to the precision, the timing, the patterns, the mathematics. They say nature does not do this, not altogether, not like this. I do not know which group is right. I know the data. I know the measurements. I know what has been observed. But I do not know the final answer. Nobody does. Not yet. Maybe not for a long time. What I do know is this. We are living through something significant. Something that may be remembered for a very long time. Whether it is a natural mystery or something more, it matters. It changes how we think about space, about what is possible, about whether we are alone. Consider sharing this information with others, not because I want attention, but because this story deserves to be known. The data is real. The observations are confirmed. People should understand what is happening above them, what is passing through our solar system, what might be trying to communicate. I encourage you to look deeper into this topic. Research 3i Atlas yourself. Read the papers that are available. Check the data. Form your own conclusions. Science works best when people think critically, when they examine evidence, when they question and verify. In my decades of studying the sky, I have learned something important. The universe is stranger than we imagine. It is more complex, more mysterious, more full of surprises. Just when we think we understand something, we discover we do not. We discover there is more to learn, more to explore, more to question. 3i Atlas has taught me this lesson again. It has shown me that interstellar space holds secrets, that objects from beyond our solar system can challenge our understanding, can force us to reconsider what we think we know, can make us wonder about possibilities we had not considered. I want to thank you for listening to this story, for considering this data, for thinking about what it might mean. Whether you believe this is natural or something else, I hope it makes you curious. I hope it makes you look up at the night sky with wonder, with questions, with the knowledge that we are still learning, still discovering, still being surprised. The transmission continues. Right now, this moment, the pattern repeats. Every 17 minutes, scientists listen, computers analyze, data accumulates, and somewhere, far from Earth, 3i Atlas moves through space, carrying whatever secrets it holds, whatever purpose it serves, whatever message it might be sending. We stand at a threshold, a point where what we observe challenges what we believe possible, where data conflicts with expectations, where measurements show things that theory struggles to explain. This is uncomfortable, this is exciting, this is science at its most profound. I do not have all the answers. I wish I did. I have questions, many questions. Why did it break symmetry at that exact moment? Why did it align with Earth so precisely? Why does the pattern contain prime numbers? Why is information being restricted? These questions keep me awake at night. They should keep all of us thinking. But questions are good. Questions drive discovery. They push us to investigate, to measure more carefully, to think more deeply, to consider possibilities we had dismissed. 3i Atlas has given us questions, important questions, questions that matter. In closing, I want to say this. Pay attention to the sky. Follow this story as it develops. More data will emerge, more analysis will be published, more understanding will come. This is not over, this is just beginning. And whatever the final explanation turns out to be, it will be significant. It will matter. It will change something about how we see the universe. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your curiosity. Thank you for considering these ideas. I hope this has given you something to think about, something to research, something to discuss with others who care about the mysteries above us. The stars hold secrets. 3i Atlas is proving that, and we are fortunate to be alive at a moment when those secrets are revealing themselves. Even if we do not yet fully understand what they mean, keep watching, keep questioning, keep wondering. That is how we learn. That is how we grow. That is how we move forward into a universe that is far stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined possible.